Buffer shield available.
Alright, so after overcoming some technical issues today, I got to play some Halo Infinite, and I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys about this because it's a very simple topic. The best way I can explain to you my experience with Halo Infinite is just by saying it felt like a game that I had never stopped playing despite it being my first time. It feels like modern Halo. I think this is the first time, probably since Halo Reach, and that's even a bit of a stretch for some people, that Halo has been simultaneously classic and new, not counting Halo 2 Anniversary. But I genuinely mean this. This game is not riddled with gimmicks and weird features and things that are clearly derivative from other games, such as advanced movement, a Mach 10 sprint, or loadout customization. This is fair start classic Halo with new mechanics, new equipment, new things you've never used before, but that you still have to go out and find and earn in order to use and enjoy. This excited me much more for the game than I thought it would. Now, I haven't played, hours upon hours, but I've played around 5 full matches, and honestly, guys, it's like I didn't have to learn it. It's like I already knew how it was going to feel. Hitting somebody with the gravity hammer, popping somebody's shields with a plasma pistol, and then headshotting them with the BR, it just felt good. And despite the fact that I can sprint and clamber, I'll get to that more in a second, I never felt like I was playing a bastardization of the Halo formula. I genuinely felt like I was playing new classic Halo, and this is good and bad in some ways, mostly good for me, but there's one negative, and I guess I'll get it out of the way here. People might complain that it's not innovative enough. Now, I think that's simultaneously not true and just fine, but I would understand the complaint. You could make a pretty strong argument that the game is almost a little boring, but that's going off of this very limited tech test, 2 maps, playing against bots, no vehicles or anything like that, so I really am not going to judge it too harshly. But it's the Halo Arena experience that you would expect, and that's something that I didn't expect when I loaded it up. Like, for some reason I was thinking, okay, how jarring is this going to be? It didn't feel jarring at all. It felt like Halo Reach, it felt like Halo 3, it felt like Halo 2 or 2A, but with some new mechanics. So, talking about sprinting first here, sprinting specifically is not very fast. I say it's no more than 5% faster than normal walking, but it allows you to jump farther and initiate a slide. It does make you feel a bit faster, it makes the game feel a bit more modern, but it doesn't overtake the game, and no one's going to be whipping around corners at Mach 10. I do worry that the slide could become a little annoying, but we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. I need a lot more experience before I can decide if certain gameplay mechanics are going to negatively affect multiple gunfights. What I really need to do is fight real people and see what they start abusing. One thing I noticed pretty early on is how easy it is to bunny hop. If you have access to the technical test, maybe you can confirm this for me, just go ahead and sprint in a straight line and just start jumping. And it's actually really easy to bunny hop through the entire map, a little too fast in my opinion, so I think there needs to be maybe a sort of jump cooldown. If there is one, I don't think I found it. But the nice thing is that I had to learn the map's layouts. Now, the maps, in my opinion, are one of the weaker parts of the experience. I don't find either of them to be very interesting, unfortunately. I'd like to see some larger maps, I'd like to see some more Valhalla-style maps, and a lot less of this sort of cramped environment. I don't want to say garbage, but I really didn't have too much fun with the map itself. But either way, I still had to learn the layout because there isn't any sort of advanced movement or anything where I'm just blasting through it and jumping and mantling and sprinting everywhere. And that's something I mentioned in my Magic of Halo video, is that maps being complex and varied and having to actually learn a map is part of the Halo experience, and when Halo simplifies its maps, it loses that core element. One thing I didn't like is the sort of Halo 4 and 5 hand-holding. I don't like that you can spot enemies. I'm sorry, like, maybe that's going to be great for new players. I personally don't like the spotting and pinging system. I don't like that the game tells you when a power weapon or ability is about to load in and has a big waypoint over it. One of the things I like about classic Halo is you have to know the spots. You don't just get told, hey everybody, there's a sniper about to spawn in the middle. Here's a big waypoint. Your friends can ping it for you and ping nearby enemies that are near it or anything. I don't like that. I think a lack of waypoint and announcer spam adds a little bit of vagueness, which means you have to learn the game a bit more thoroughly. And while that's not great for new players, this is a free-to-play game, and it's going to be supported for a long time, so if you're new, you won't be new forever, you know, just learn the game if you're interested in it, is my thinking. But it's not a game ruining thing, it's just, I don't like that shift in philosophy that 343 implemented, and we've never really seen a return back to, hey, I didn't know that the sniper spawned here feeling, you know. One of the things I liked about the Halo 3 map they added, or the Halo Online map, I should say, that they added to Halo 3 is that I had to learn it. I had to go walk around and explore it, and whereas with these maps, they're pretty small, they're pretty simplistic, and there's lots of waypoints all over the place, plus you have the classic Halo radar that shows you nearby enemies. I wasn't paying too much active attention because of these things. But again, not a deal breaker by any means, and more importantly, the gunplay feels really good. Like, I don't know how this really unstable tech test, this isn't even like an alpha or a beta test thing, like this is something you sign up for, then you have to get approved for, you're doing essentially quality assurance testing for free, and the gunplay, in context to what makes a good Halo game, the gunplay works really well. I really enjoyed it. The sniper, the skewer, the plasma pistol, the BR, the AR, the pistol, the sidekick I should say, I absolutely adored them. If you compare this to Black Ops Cold War's weird alpha and beta thing that they did, which was way more public, that gunplay relevant to what a Call of Duty game could feel like was so low quality. Whereas Halo Infinite feels like a genuine evolution of Halo's gunplay in terms of sound and feel and responsiveness, and this isn't an unstable, unoptimized tech test. I'm really happy with the gunplay. I have been playing Spider-Man for the PS4 and Red Dead Online on my Xbox. I have not been touching PC shooters. I've just been sort of bored with any sort of competitive shooter. It's not really been my thing recently. I was able to pick it up and play it like I had never not played it. It's like a game that's been here my whole life in the first matches I played. On top of being rusty, the fact that that was my initial feeling is amazing. There is love poured into the moment-to-moment gameplay here. Combining the grappling hook with the gravity hammer, using the deployable shield, throwing grenades around corners, picking up weapons, landing headshots with sniper rifles, it just felt like Halo. Like, it didn't feel like nostalgia bait, maybe a little, but it mostly felt like this is what the classic Halo formula could be like in modern day, and I appreciate the hell out of that. For instance, and I will link my video on the magic of Halo after this, but Halo is all about initial positioning, on-site procurement, and creativity within the sandbox. So that's the feeling you need to replicate. And to replicate that, you have to limit players a little bit. If somebody's too fast and too agile, they're not going to really care about how the map's laid out, they're not really going to worry about getting into sticky situations because they can just get right the hell out of them. Players will feel a lot more encouraged to go out and enjoy the sandbox if them themselves aren't super fast, agile super soldiers. And I know this is where people get confused. In Halo, lore-wise, aesthetic-wise, you are playing as a super soldier, but yet the magic comes from being limited, unlike a super soldier. I know that's sort of a hard pill to swallow, but it's absolutely true. Halo is at its best when you feel like you need to go out and get something. You need to go on a little bit of an adventure. You need to go and play the map. And Halo Infinite, in my opinion, is absolutely nailing that feeling, while still maintaining the modern things you would come to expect, like being able to zoom in with your assault rifle a little bit. That muscle memory from every other modern shooter will be great in a new player's hands, and then you have the ability to sprint and slide and jump and mantle, but other than that, you're gonna have to use those things to go out and get the shit that you want. You're still limited. You can't jump in the air and boost left and double jump and ground pound and shoulder charge. You can't thruster pack backwards or jetpack into the sky just because you spawned in with one, and I love that. And I know a lot of Halo players sort of jerk off over sandbox talk, but more importantly, positioning is key. And while you are very agile in this game, you're not so agile that getting into a bad situation is an easy thing to escape from. So initial positioning, on-site procurement, combining things within the sandbox to achieve goals that you want to achieve, that's all there. The Halo magic is basically culminating here. We can see the design philosophies from 343 and Bungie merging properly, creating a sort of yin-yang system here, and I think it's really great. We have a little bit of old and a little bit of new, and some things that are kind of in between. So I hope that this video ages well. I hope that the game gets better with each tech test. I hope that the game gets better before its beta and before its launch. I hope things really come together. I did feel a little bit bored when it came to the maps, but not the gameplay that was going on them, and I love how comfortable it felt in my hands. I felt like I was home in a new place, and that's a great feeling. So 343, you're nailing it. So keep up the good work, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Goodbye.